Guys, sorry for not doing many what ifs. Also, just so you know, as of the time I'm making this, my Wi-Fi is being trash and isn't working. Okay. Or at least the Wi-Fi was being trash and then it stopped and it wasn't working, and then some problems happened basically with the Wi-Fi is what I'm saying. Either way, this is what if Naruto was a prodigy, was a neglected prodigy, but had a OP, yeah, twist. I was trying to remember what the exact word was. Twist. Either way, here are the abilities. I'll state them out loud for y'all. Kamugan ability. Stage 1 ability. Kamugan. Kamui. The Kamugan of the stage 1 ability is Almighty Push, Universal Pull, and 2 Tomo worth of eyesight. Stage 2 abilities. Kamui Almighty Push, Universal Pull, 3 Tomo sight, plus the sight. Basically, it allows you to see chakra like the Byakugan, is what I'm saying, along with 360-degree sight. Stage 3 abilities. Kamui Almighty Push, Universal Pull, Mangekyo sight, and Tensegon sight, which is the upgraded version of the Byakugan, which can see chakra way better. And then there's also Amaterasu and Tsukuyomi. And then that's the stage 3. Then the Rene Kamugan. All Rinnegan abilities and Kamugan abilities. And then there's the Tensei Rene Kamugan, which also, what I'm going to call it so it's easier on me to remember, the Rene Kamugan evolution. But essentially, Rene Kamugan has all Sharingan abilities, all Rinnegan abilities, all Kitsuryugan abilities, all Tenseigan abilities, no hand signs for Jutsu, Hakai, creation of all things, but doesn't use any chakra. Basically, all the powers of as well as all the powers of the Kamugan, as the name implies. He has every release, and then his friends are and this will probably end up being the 9 Biju and Hagoromo. That's the only thing I could give. And these are the elements. This is what I mean by all elements. Either way, that's basically it. And and then these are the first 3 stages of Kamugan. First stage, second stage where it gets more defined, and then third stage, and then after that, the third stage, it's Rene Kamugan, and then it will have the Rene Kamugan evolution / Tensei Rene Kamugan. You basically, let's get into this, as I think I've spent enough time explaining. So, we see as the Nine Tails attack has happened, but to canon however, this time when the Shinigami was summoned, he gave 50% of the chakra to Minma and Mito and accidentally sealed the soul of the QB in Naruto. And Hiruzen did sacrifice his life in this one instead of Minato. However, since he saw the future of the kid, and since he felt bad, he thought, know what, I'm gonna replace that Namikaze genes, because in this, Namikaze don't really have a Genkai, so he called it useless because of that, because he doesn't like how the Namikazes don't have a Genkai, yet they act all high and mighty. That's how Namikazes used to act. So, he replaced the Namikaze genes with his own genes, and in this, Kushina was half Uchiha, half Uzumaki. And the Shinigami genes essentially mutated into the Kamugan. So either way, we see as Naruto as it's their fourth as Jiraiya comes on their third birthday. Naruto's always been more intelligent, more calm and calculative, as well as has his chakra, however, steals like a death itself from being part Shinigami, which that includes access. See that question mark? That's essentially what's his shinigami, the release from being a shinigami. The question marks right there stand is because the ninja world has no clue of what it's called, but we're gonna know. It is gonna be known as I have a good idea. It will just be called Shinigami Release because it's derived from Shinigami blood, from the Shinigami's blood. So Naruto was born with access to that because he was given the blood of the Shinigami. As we see, as Jiraiya says, the child of prophecy. Yeah, trash, which we all know isn't true. So, Minma and Mita were the children of prophecy, and all that. But we all know it's Naruto. So let's just continue. So then Yonto starts neglecting him from the age of 3. Naruto learns many skills that he normally wouldn't. And we see as he goes to the forest of death after being beaten and healing, and he's like, I've had enough. I'm gonna start training. As we see as one of his friends followed him to see if he was okay. And then we see as his friend was killed by a mutated animal. This made Naruto angry, truly angry, as his chakra started radiating off of him, which has the immense power and bloodlust feel of the Shinigami, the feeling of measurable amounts of death and destruction. This mutated animal starts to cower in fear, as Naruto has now awakened the first stage of the Kamugan. It's not even the trashy Kamui in this, may I add. And he says on instinct, Kamui, and he Kamuis it to the Kamui realm, and he Kamuis himself there. And then we hear, as he says, almighty push, universal pull, and then as he the almighty push was to throw it off, and then he proceeded to start punching him thousands of times, as this greatly increases his physical strength, which is already immense, as he has made seals. He has all the Funjetsu prowess of the Shinigami itself. It's just he has to learn how to make it. He made gravity seals, weight seals, as well as resistance seals, and placed them all on himself. The gravity makes it so that the gravity for him is multiple times stronger, and of course weight adds an extra weight. And then the resistance makes it since it's the second tier, it's harder than water movement, trying to walk forward in water. He constantly has this all plus a strength restriction seal on it, so he can get stronger, as he's already done this thousands of times now, and he's finally upgraded. And now we see as he basically released all those seals on top of the multiplier of the strength of the Kamugan. Yeah, we all know he's dead. And then once he finally has enough, as the Shinigami release has been keeping him alive, he snaps his finger as it decays into nothing, and its soul goes to the underworld. And the Shinigami sees that it was killed with Shinigami release, and it says, that kid I gave my blood. I think he reminds me of me in my past. Now I remember why I gave him and he did this because his friend was killed. However, since you killed one of his very few friends, I'll just shatter your soul, he says, as he shatters the beast's soul. And we see as he leaves, and he notices that his eyes have changed to the stage 1 Kamugan, as he's like, what is this? And then he naturally has the instinct to call it Kamugan. And then he notices, as he did learn how to do chakra control, he did learn basics of chakra control, and not just enough to control his dojutsu on and off. as he realizes this is a dojutsu. Must be a mutated form of the Sharingan. After all, I am technically 25% Uchiha. So that's nice to know. Also, the Shinigami part of him makes him have ridiculous, like practically infinite amounts of of chakra, which feels like death itself. So he turns it off, and we see as he leaves. Time skip 2 years. He is now the age of 5 and has been training very harshly to the brink of death and beyond, to the point even though he has the body of a demigod, he's been doing immense training with all those seals as well on him. And now it's up to 500, and may I add, he's gotten so strong so fast as the Shinigami, anyone who possesses the Shinigami release naturally has a natural capability to be able to gain all forms of practice will be 10 times more effective. So he's been getting it 10 times faster. And now he can roughly hold 15 tons of weight without the seals, and 30 with. Actually, no, it was with the seals. 15 tons with the seals, and with his old seals, like the seals at the beginning, which held off his 1 ton of physical strength. So yeah. And without those, it would be around, basically without any restricted seals, he could essentially lift 30 tons. So he's constantly upping the seals when he needs to. And we see as he's now training in shadow clones. And for those who for those who don't know, I have a tendency to make my characters OP. So I'm going to make it so that any training the shadow clones do also pay off for him. Even physical training. So he has them go and do flexibility training and physical training and all that. And then he releases them and however, it does take a severe toll on his body and he knocks out. As we see, as he wakes up and is like, I'm going to come back again tomorrow. As he goes. As well as, may I add, he's been being neglected. They really don't really care. They aren't really beating him or anything. That's what the villagers did. And he goes in as Minma and Mito are like, hey, loser. We've been training with Mom and Dad for over a year now. Hey, and you haven't even gotten the slightest bit of training. Ha 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 ha. And then we see as they proceed to try to beat him up, as he does not want to show his powers, and this makes Shinigami angry. As through this time, Shinigami has started to think of him as his son, as he has some of the similar ideals to him, which is everyone has their own time. However, peeve me off and your time is going to be cut short, which is one of his ideals. And then another one, as he is the Shinigami. Not much can peeve him off. Same with Naruto. Not much peeves him off either. However, and I'd say, and he has talked to him in a kid form with the same personality he normally has, and they get along a ton. Like, they're practically father and son level of get along. So, basically, that's how he thinks of him, as he did pick an older kind of form. And he subtly pushed him in the right direction on how to use Shinigami release. Subtly. Like he didn't even notice. Like Naruto didn't even notice. And we see as after he wakes up, finding out about it, this sadness because they never actually hit him, as they were very close when they were kids. He remembers all the stuff they did, and he, after a few years, finally awakens the stage 2 Kamugan, and he feels its immense power, and sees he has an area of sight of the Byakugan, as well as he's seeing the chakra and everything, and notices how his chakra is pure, deathly black, which is the color of the Shinigami's chakra, I'm gonna say. As he then proceeds to turn off his Kamugan before anyone notices he has this dojutsu. And they do, as well as in these years, they have just a little over a year ago, they had another kid named the other two were Naruto and Menma, but they had another kid. This kid was I think I'm gonna say Mito. And this one, Mito likes Naruto more. I wasn't sure how this was gonna go. So, because I'm making this up on the spot, as I have not really made any script, and I am sorry for that, because it took me like an hour to decide, trying to figure out how I wanted to edit this, or if I wanted to edit it differently. This will probably be posted once I finally get Wi-Fi back, which I don't know if it's going to be sooner or later. Probably a little bit later, but either way, I know that y'all will probably like this. I hope y'all do at least. Also, if you like this, please, because if we can get 10 likes, I'll be really happy, because it's been a while since I've done What If, and I'm sorry, and I have been doing Minecraft because I also want to have a little bit of a Minecraft audience as well. It hasn't happened much, so but I'm not gonna stop. I'm just gonna do it whenever I feel like I want to play Minecraft and make a video, and I have some energy for it. But right now I am kind of creating a little bit of What If Naruto, so either way, back to the subject at hand. So he finally has had enough and decides, you know what, I'm going to the forest, that fateful forest again, the forest of death. As he goes to this forest, he sees Shisui, who is training, and he sees him and approaches him after Shisui catches him and says, "Hey, may I please join?" As remember, he is a 5-year-old. He is ridiculous because he has that blood, but still. So, yeah. And he says, "No what? Sure, kid. Why not?" As they start training, Shisui sees how he's kind and how he's befriended some of the animals of the forest. Like he befriended a wolf. And just hint to a certain thing that starts with a C and ends with a tract. So we're gonna continue as we see that he has been working, that they are getting along super well. And Shisui says, "Know what, kid? Let me train you." As now, Naruto has had enough of holding back, as this brought him down to about Genin level. As he's like, "Do you want to see what I can do with my seals off?" As he takes them all off, his hair turns as white as the shinigami. Basically, his hair looks like a short like this, but with the Shinigami's hair color. As we see his whisker marks and the middle of his hand and turn purple, and his his whisker mark like markings, and so on, as turn purple, and have 2 purple diamonds on his hands. no, this is not karma. This is what's known as the unsealed mode, when he lets his chakra actually run through his body without a seal, making it not change. So, what he does is he says, "Let's see you fight me now." As by now, Shisui's having to use a ridiculous amount of his chakra just to body flicker away. After getting one punch and blocking it with his left arm, he felt it crack. As he had a ton of chakra in his arms, like enough to make it have a few be able to withstand it. Which is why it only cracked. As now we see as they keep sparring, and Susui's been dodging, and Naruto says on instinct, "Shinigami release, Chakra Soul Prison." And this is where I am leaving it off. Bye, guys.